Well, on Thursday, as you heard me say, our population is expected to reach 27 million. Now, that's well ahead of predictions in 2002, which forecast we wouldn't reach 26 million until 2042. Now, that's, of course, thanks to an annual migration that's well over 500,000 people last year, the biggest population bump ever in our history. So what lies ahead? Well, the man with the numbers and the answers is social researcher Mark McCrindle, and he joins me now. Mark, obviously this isn't a precise figure, but pretty close to the mark. Give us a sense of what goes into your calculation.
Well, the Australian Bureau of Statistics put out these quarterly population updates, and it's solid numbers just looking at our growth, and from there we can do some projections. But, there's two key factors of population growth nationally. First is natural increase, the births minus the deaths, and that is the smallest part of our growth at the moment. The far largest part is the other growth area, and that's net overseas migration, and that's permanent arrivals minus the permanent departures, and that at the moment is 83% of our total annual population growth, hitting new records. So that's really what's driving the population increase.
The government's quick to say, of course, that a growing population is good for the economy, but we've got to this milestone 30 years earlier than we had thought. So schools, hospital, all the infrastructure that supports a population of that size hasn't sort of caught up. We haven't planned for this sort of growth. What effect does that have?
Well, we're dealing with the problems of that now. I mean, you're exactly right. This first intergenerational report in 2002 said that we wouldn't hit 27 million until 2054. And here we are at 2024, about to hit it. That's the problem because, of course, land release and zoning and infrastructure planning, road and rail, that takes a 20 or 30 year time horizon to plan. And so if we're now dealing with shortfalls on infrastructure or housing, that's because all of the planning has gone off the wrong numbers that was saying we would be slowing our growth. Instead, it's been accelerating and hitting new records. And probably more to the point, the problem is that we've massively overshot or grown the growth factors through policy compared to what the model said, and now we're having to play catch up. The demand is greater than the supply, and Australian householders are paying the price.
Some criticism today by experts saying that yes, there's been this great increase in migration, but we're not getting the migrants with the skills we need. Under 200 visas last year for people to work in nursing homes. That's a big shortfall. Not enough trades coming through, not enough plumbers, not enough electricians. We know, of course, we've had this huge ramp up, ambitious plans to build all these new homes. We've had a lot of construction industry firms, 1,600, we learned last week, go to the wall in the past 6 months. They're looking for workers and trades, etc., in this sector to keep it going. Are we not careful enough in the visa types we're inviting into Australia?
Well, that's right. I mean, this is not targeted migration in the best possible way. Now, a big proportion are overseas students coming here to study, which is a great earner for the universities. You've got skilled visas coming in, but it's not as tightly targeted as we might think, as you've said. And we're way above what even has been the recent average in permanent arrival net increase of about 230,000. Here we are at 518,000 net increase in migration in the last 12 months. And it hasn't really been targeted where the need has been. And as for the housing, I mean, you're exactly right there, because the 624,000 population increase, based on 2.5 people per household, which is what we have in Australia, census data tells us that, we need 250,000 new homes per annum just to cater for the growth that we're seeing. So over 5 years, that's 1.25 million new homes that we need. And this target, the 5-year target currently, is to develop 1.2 million homes. So we're even falling short of what we need just based on the current 5-year growth, and that doesn't deal with any of the existing demand that we have. And that's all to say that even if we achieve the build numbers that are projected, the 1.2 million homes in 5 years, even if, and there's lots of questions about it, we're still not going to even accommodate the current growth that we're seeing, let alone the existing growth. And two ironclad laws of policy and population and housing in Australia is we always fall short of the development of homes and the target, and yet we always overshoot the population increases, and that's our big problem.
Mark McCrindle, I love the data and your analysis, so thanks for bringing some facts to the table tonight.